It's Monday again. Happy Monday. Welcome to a new writing week. And this one I think is going to be a bit different from the rest for editing reasons. So I was supposed to have my editorial talk with my editor today from HQ Digital, but that didn't work out. We have arranged it for tomorrow instead. So today I worked on a few pitches for her. I did spend most of the morning trying to find an old story that I think might have been the first story I think I ever wrote, at least outlined in sort of like, I think I wrote maybe 10,000 words. It's not a lot. I wrote like the beginning and the end. For some reason, I always thought Soul Taken was my first book, but then I thought about it again. I'm like, no, I have another one, and it was a summary type romance. I cannot find it anywhere. I know the general gist of it, but I was hoping to have more involved, and I don't. I cannot find it. I looked in my old Mac that I had to find the charger for because like the new chargers don't work. So that was part of my morning, but then I just sort of let myself go and allowed myself to think and see if maybe there's something new. I mean, that person who wrote that, is maybe somewhere deep inside of me, but my life has changed and I have a different perspective. So long story short, I figured out a different idea that I'd like to pitch. This morning while I was doing my thing, I actually did a workout this morning, which I feel so good about. I allowed myself to think. For me, my process, I know that I can't, when I'm stuck, I don't ever get writer's block. I don't like that phrase because I don't get writer's block. I understand what it is, and it's usually something is not right with what I'm doing or what I'm writing, and then I have to go back to when I was excited about the story and I knew where the story was, and then sort of go in a different direction. But when it comes to plotting, my way to figure out this block is to do life. So I will work out, I will go for a walk, I will take a shower, and I know these ideas, these things that I do, my ideas will definitely come, and they did. So what else? Oh, I have been listening to one of my favorite writing podcasts is 88 Cups of Tea with Ian Chang, and I listened to the Sarah Dessen episode. It's one of her newer ones, so if you go on your podcast app or 88 Cups of Tea website, you'll be able to find it. And I think I always get something out of these episodes. So this one specifically, because it had to, I had my critique group last week. She mentioned that she doesn't let anyone see her first drafts until it's completely done. And even then, it's usually like one person other than like her agent or her editor. She's been in the game for years. So, this is part of the reason that I really want an agent. I'm looking for like a business partner within my writing, someone I can bounce ideas off of and not worry about, judgment. But with this young adult thriller book, which has been on my mind for a long time, I don't think I can give it to people anymore while it's in its drafting stage. I'm getting so many amazing ideas, which is great, but I'm getting so many different ideas at a very vulnerable part of the process for me, because I want to be able to write the story of my heart and then fix it and then give it to people and see what they think. So I like the idea of that, and I think that's what I'm going to do, and I feel really good about the decision. So thanks, Sarah Dessen, for the idea. I'm going to still think about the young adult thriller. I think if I do have any free time, it's really just going to be outlining. I know I can draft really quickly when I have one of my detailed outlines. Like I said, I wrote this book initially in 2017 in about 2.5 weeks, 75,000 words. So I can do that with a detailed outline. So I think once I have this outline. I feel really good about it. I know the characters, I know their stories. Then if I do have a 2-week break, maybe around Christmas time or in between revisions, I can just bang out the story and be done with it, and then do an edit and everything when I can. So I do feel bad about going back on my New Year's resolution, which was to query agents. I don't think I necessarily said I would get an agent, because that's honestly not in my control. But I did want to query with this story, but that's probably not going to happen. So that's my plan for a Monday. A lot of moving parts, a lot of things I'm excited about though. This will probably be my only check-in today, because I do want to work on that blurb/pitch, but I'm obviously not gonna talk about it too much, because if it doesn't happen, then there's no point. I'll just save it for a rainy day, maybe a rainy summer day sometime in the future, because I'm actually really excited about this, and I think I can put a lot of myself into this story. So yeah, I'll let you go. I'll see you later. So I just got off the phone with my editor. All good things. As I said, it's always good things. Well, we talked the majority of the phone call about the story, my Christmas festive romance, which a lot of things are going to be moving with that in a little bit, in terms of reveals and things like that. So that will be coming up soon. But in terms of the story, I sort of wrote her my thoughts earlier this week. I have my notes here, so I wrote her some thoughts earlier this week about how I felt about the story and what my critique partner feedback was and things I wanted to change. And the way my brain works, and this is probably why my young adult thriller is just a hot mess, is that I'll take a book that I finished and just want to rewrite it. Like, I'll find everything wrong and go in like this many directions more. So she kind of reeled me back. So this is part of my process, and now I am extremely aware of it. I guess I wasn't before. So we discussed, there was a certain reveal that happened. She had a great idea about bringing that reveal sooner, because I do want to keep it in the story. I think it's a great source of conflict, but I don't think it's the type of conflict that can translate throughout an entire book. And that was a big one. And also, it was just more about motivation. And I already knew this, because I am a digital first author, I do push very quickly with my stories, and I do write them very quickly. And sometimes things get missed, things that are in my head but aren't necessarily put on the page. So my revision will be focusing on that as well. So she's going to be giving me a revision letter, which I'm used to, and I've always received those, in addition to comments in the document, and also some line editing, which is that's the part that's new, is the line editing. And I always take an opportunity to learn my craft. Anytime I receive line edits, I really dig in there and see like if there's any way that I'm structuring my sentences that just don't make sense consistently. This is how I learn craft. I learn it by reading, and I learn it by writing, and I learn it by working with amazing people in the field. So yeah, it's going to be a lot. I have about 3 weeks to do it. Then I will have another set of revisions, which with my previous editor, this was done as well, where it's more of a line edit-ish the second time around, where it's really digging in deep to specific areas, because I should be able to hit all of the big markers within this next revision. That's the point of a developmental edit. So that was my phone call. I also went over, so this contract is a 2-book contract. I also went over an idea for my next book, and she liked it. This is the one I did in like a day. Like I said, I did 3 of them for the phone call, and then it was shifted a little bit. And then, so this one, she really liked it, and I'm actually very excited for it, because it's more personal to me. It's not that book of my heart from years ago, the other one that I was looking for yesterday. it's a new book of my heart. So I'm excited. I always get stressed after a conversation, so now I already put my food in the oven, and I'm gonna eat lunch. I'm gonna unwind for a little bit before I have to pick up a most likely very hyper child from school. I wanted to go over that with you. I always like seeing the process of other people's writing, other people's publishing, and I hope you got something out of it. If not, that's cool. So yeah, I will check in later. Today for the rest of the day, I'm not going to be writing. I will be going over my notes. I'm actually waiting for the email with my edit letter. We'll probably just read through. So I'll read through the letter, break it down, read through the marked up document, maybe make some changes, I'm not sure, and then what is tomorrow? Wednesday? What is today? Yeah, tomorrow's Wednesday. I'm gonna do all that tomorrow and then really dive in Thursday. And I don't think I'll be able to stop until it's done. I think I'm not going to take the weekend off like I normally do. I have this buzzing energy when it comes to this book right now, and I don't want to waste it. So that's my check-in. I need to go eat. My alarm just went off, and I will check in most likely tomorrow. See you later.
Happy Friday! What happened to Wednesday and Thursday? Nothing. I didn't do much. Well, I did some. So, as I said on Tuesday, I was waiting for my revision letter from my editor, and it didn't come in until about Wednesday afternoon. So I read through the letter, and it was actually everything that we had discussed on our phone call, so there was no surprises. Usually when I just get the edit letter in my email without any preface to it, it takes a minute for a lot of this to sit in, but since we had a discussion and came up with a game plan, I felt better about getting this letter. I read it. What I tend to do is when I get a revision letter, in the past they've averaged usually about 5-6 pages. With my experience with critiquing, there's what they call a sandwich method of critiquing, where you say really nice things and then you sort of add in the stuff that could be fixed, and then you end it with a really nice thing. So as nice as these letters are, they're hard to kind of sift through when I'm going through the process. So what I do is I strip them down to a bullet list of things that I need to do. So this letter I think was 3 pages, so I brought it down to 1 page, and it's just all the bullet points of the meat of the letter. Scenes I need to change, character motivations that I need to, make clearer or change. And then I divide that into sort of sections where it's the bigger picture things and then smaller scenes. Because if my editor has an issue with the smaller scene, I'll check that at the end when I'm done with my revisions, because if I do end up changing it in the bigger revisions, then it won't be relevant anymore. Or if it is relevant, it's usually a quick fix. I hope that wasn't too confusing. So as I said, I looked through the letter on Wednesday, and it wasn't anything really new. Also, what she did is she sent me a document of the book with comments and track changes, and also some line edits, which I have not received on a developmental edit before, which I think is so awesome. So what I did yesterday is I woke up early for the first time this week. I'm starting to read through the actual document of the book that she sent, because what I want to do is go through all of these changes, do as many as I can within Word, and then bring it back to Scrivener, and of course with snapshots, and sort of bring it through there, because in my Scrivener I have all the character sheets and profiles that I do, and I need to update some names because I've already changed a few, and I just like having everything in one spot. I don't like to have 10 things open on my desktop. So that's where I'm at. Yesterday I only did about 5 chapters. If you've watched my writing vlogs before, you know that Thursdays are usually my busier days, and so I did about 5 chapters. I didn't change too much. I know there is a reveal that I had done throughout the entire book that we're actually squishing into just, one of the minor conflicts that these characters have to go through in their romance. So it's sort of weaving that all in together, cutting stuff. I've actually cut a lot more than written, at least yesterday. So today I'm already up to chapter 13. There's 27 chapters total, so I'm way above my goal for the day. But I'm going to keep going as much as I can today because I'm actually really getting into it. I came to a chapter just a little while ago that I have to add a lot more into. So I'm going to do it this afternoon to pay a little more attention to it. I'm going to go through a whole other read through once it's in Scrivener with a little more detail. So I want to just get a lot of my initial thoughts out of my head about how these scenes should be playing out. And then when I look at them in a different medium, sometimes that helps me to pick out little things that I need to fix and make sure that any changes that I do make big picture wise are consistent throughout the book. I don't want to have any of those threads hanging from a previous, draft confusing anyone. So that's my goal for the rest of this week. I am going to work this weekend. I want to actually push through until next week. I'm still not sure if I'm going to send it. I'm going to send this version to my critique partners. I don't know if they'll have enough time, and I don't want to push anyone to do things too quickly. So I may give it to them in between this edit because I will be having one more edit after this. So after I hand in this developmental edit, I will have another edit coming soon after. I would like to incorporate critique partner feedback right before I hand in my final edit. So that's my plan for the day. I hope to get through a bunch more chapters today, as many as I can, because I really want to get into Scrivener and start really nailing down details and getting deeper into the story to make it as rich as possible. So like I said, I do have another round of edits, but I want to get as much done now as I can so that that second edit might not take as long and we could get the ball rolling with the book. I'm really excited about a lot of things surrounding this book. I've had a lot of opportunities with this book that I haven't before, and I will announce that as soon as I am able. And I'm excited for you all to read it. I wish I could be a little less vague, but as I go in, as I dig deeper into revisions, I'll be able to talk about more. But right now, I'm just sort of focusing on this reveal that came too late in the story that I'm pushing up, and also dealing with sort of the aftermath of it, which, like I said, as it carried over through the entire book, you didn't really see a resolution with it as much as I would have wanted. So now I get to put in that resolution and see how these characters come up with conflict and are able to come out in the end as a couple. It is a romance, so I mean, that's no spoilers, but yeah, and I'm starting to get back into the Christmas spirit as well. I had some ideas for videos that I want to do in July, but I'm not sure if I'm going to do them yet or how I'm going to do it. So stay tuned for that, and I'll check in with you later.
Happy Saturday! I am currently working on my Christmas festive romance. I'm still actually going through the draft with my editor's notes in it. There are more than I expected, which is good, but it's leading for a lot of questions coming up. So I'm finding myself rewriting scenes, pulling snippets from later sections and earlier sections and kind of mishmashing them all together. I am making a list on my notepad here. I only have one so far, but I know I'm going to have to add a few of scenes I have to add once I'm in Scrivener. But I'm feeling a little unsure about everything because I am sort of mixing it up. I'm sort of reading the things that I already wrote and then changing them. So once I go into Scrivener, I'll be able to fix a lot of that, hopefully, once I can read it all at once and see where I've changed things and where I've updated things. So yeah, that's where I'm at. Yesterday I did up to chapter 13. Today I'd like to get through chapter 19, currently on 17. So it seems plausible, but we'll see. And I'll check in with you later. Happy Sunday. It is 5 o'clock and I have not yet checked in, but this morning I ended up waking up early to finish off the rest of my chapters of my first review of my Christmas festive romance. It went well. I have 2 scenes that I still need to write, and I am above the 70K mark. I'm really hoping to do 75K, or at least as close as I can with this next revision. So if you know me already, you know I can write fast. So 5,000 words in 1 week is not too bad. I'm hoping to get this revision done by the weekend and then hand it off to one or two of my critique partners just to review it prior to sending it off next week. And that's it for my Sunday. I wanted to take it a little bit easy. I think I ended yesterday at a certain point, and then I did like 5 more chapters, so this morning wasn't too hard, but I did end up rewriting the ending, more of like the 3rd chapter to the end, like completely. It's a totally different setting and situation, and that was a little fun bit to write, but I want to go through it this week with a fine-tooth comb and figure out, make sure that it's the best it can be prior to sending it back to my editor. So that's pretty much all I'm doing. I'll check in again this week, and it'll be a little more in-depth when it comes to what I talk about with my book. This week was more of changing a lot of things, so next week will be a little different. So I wish you all the words, and if you like this vlog, do give it a thumbs up because it really helps me out, and subscribe and hit that bell so you know the next time I post a video. I will talk to you soon. Bye-bye.